posting this, but I asked my husband, and my husband was like, this is the reason why you need to use your platform. There are people that are going through even worse situations than you, and you need to be the light, and you need to give them advice, and you need to be there. You need to be the person who speaks about your own troubles to others and help others get through theirs. So as much as this is like, it got me shaky, it's literally 6 in the morning here in Florida, and I am recording this right now because I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna get up, get ready, start my day already as of now because I'm gonna go crazy. I just really didn't sleep all night long. I'm still trying to like gather up all my thoughts as to why everything happened yesterday, just why. And I want to be very calm and collected about this because that's not like me. It's very hard for me to sit here, and I can sit here all day and talk crap about my mother-in-law as much as I want. I really can because there's just too much. It's just become too much. The reality of it all is that is his mother. So I was debating on whether or not to post this. I've been posting on TikTok about all my stories about things that have been happening recently, not even from back in the day, but recently. So everything you guys have been saying has been recent, which is horrible because that's just a lot in such a short amount of time. But you guys deserve to know the truth and just everything, how it all escalated, why everything changed. This video is solely on what happened that day being yesterday. So let's jump right in. All right, so it was in the afternoon. I received a notification on my camera, and my camera said that someone had arrived at my house. I go to check it, and it was her. It was my mother-in-law. And then, now, mind you, my husband has told her multiple times, can you please just give us a heads up when you come? Because I wouldn't like my wife's family to just show up without calling us at least, or being like, hey, we're gonna come by real quick, or like, hey, we wanna spend time with you today, is it okay if we can come by? Or just a simple heads up that you're stopping by, because usually half the time she just comes for a little bit and then she leaves. And we don't mind that. There's nothing wrong with that. That's the problem here. There is nothing wrong with that, but there is something wrong to her about calling us. She says she doesn't need to make an appointment. It's not about making an appointment. It's about having common courtesy. But she doesn't believe in that. She starts walking to the backyard with a little gift in her hand. Like, if you ask me, that's a little dramatic because you can literally, the baby's here, you can literally come inside. I have never stopped her from coming inside. Not once, ever. Even when my husband is not home, I still open the door to her. There was one instance that it was 8 o'clock in the morning and she was trying to come here, and I didn't open the door because in reality, I really was sleeping and I didn't want anybody over. Could I have opened the door for her and like, you know, told her that I'm sleeping? Yeah, I'm sure I could have, but I didn't. And I don't have to give an explanation to anybody as to why I make the decisions that I make because I am my own person. I am an adult. I make my own decisions. And if my baby is sleeping, even if I'm not sleeping, if my baby is sleeping and I am somewhat sleeping, I don't have to explain myself to you. And if I don't answer your phone calls, I'll call you later. Like, just get the hint. Don't come banging on my door and ringing my doorbell 3 times, expecting me to answer the door that early. Because that's what she did. So she goes back to my backyard because my husband was fixing the plants that we have back there. We have our little garden of like spinach and like all this stuff back there. So my husband was back there fixing our garden. So she goes back there, she hangs out with my husband, you know, to go say hi to her son, which is normal. And then she starts crying and she hands him the gift as she's crying. Like, mind you, I'm gonna literally show, because I have cameras, guys. This is her. Here. Because I know she'll never let me see the baby. So here. Then starts talking whatever else about me that I just didn't care to see anymore. Because it's just, I already know what she's going to say. It's the same story every time. So she starts talking poorly about me. I then get out the house. I put the baby in his crib to bed because he was, thank the Lord. I thank you, Jesus, that the baby was sleeping at this time. Because the last thing he needs is to hear anything. I put him in his crib and I went outside. And I'm looking and I'm recording. As you guys, if you guys follow me on TikTok, you saw the clips of me recording her from afar as she's there, like with my husband holding the gift. And my husband was over it. because my husband knew what she was trying to do from the jump. He already knew that she came here to start problems like she always does, and that she came here unannounced just to bug me. She does these things on purpose because she knows that I don't like it, and I've expressed to her, hey, can you just call next time? And she's like, I don't have to call. So it's like, okay, how much can I put for my part to try to be nice to you, to try to get along with you, and you still just can't respect one little thing? Just call me. That's it. Just call me. Just call your son. Don't even call me. You don't have to talk to me. You don't have, because I will always say this. If you don't like me, that's okay. But you need to respect our house. You need to respect me as the mother of the grandbaby. And my husband has told her multiple times, if you don't respect my wife, you can't see the baby. It is what it is. You don't have to like her, but you will respect her. So she's back there talking crap about me. My husband instantly was like, did you come here to start problems? No, no. You come here to talk about my wife poorly. That's all you do. And you do it on purpose because you know that this irritates her. You do this on purpose because you know what's going to happen next. What, do you let her control you? Nobody controls me, my husband said. Nobody controls me. It's not about control. It's about you respecting her, which you don't, and you never have. And she's tried too many times to get along with you, but all you do is bring her down. All you do is talk crap about her. All you do is come here and start arguments in front of the baby. This is my husband telling her this, okay? This is not me. This is not, listen, when I went out there was a whole different story. This is my husband telling her this. This is what she says to him. You're my son. I just come here to see you. My husband's like, you can't call me? I don't get what the big deal is about you calling me. You can't show up here again without calling. I then hear that it's kind of escalating, and I'm over it. And that's when you saw in the video that I was like, well, guess what? You guys are gonna see her today. Well, that's when I went out there and I started recording. And my husband was like, what happened, babe? And you heard it in the video. I was like, oh no, I'm just showing the world that your mom comes here to do little pity parties and cry just for attention. And then he's like, babe, he's like, let me talk to her really quick. And I'm like, okay, but I want to talk to her too. And he's like, okay. I'm like, okay, so why are you crying, ma'am? And she's like, I don't need to talk to you. You need to get out of my face. I'm like, I'm not in your face. I just want to know why you come here all the time to talk poorly about me, when I have tried multiple times to get along with you. I have tried multiple times to do things right with you. I reminded her, do you remember when you and I used to be so close that I would literally tell you everything? I would cry in your lap. You would literally rub my hair for me to go to sleep. Do you not remember that? Do you not remember all the times that we used to go shopping together? All the times that we would literally confide in each other for everything, for help, for aid, for anything, for advice, for everything. Do you not remember those times? What happened? No, you're a bad person. You're just a bad person. You see, me and him, we're blood. You see, you're temporary. Who says that? A bad person. I never said that to her. So I'm like, I'm a bad person, but do you hear the way that you're bad-mouthing me right now? I'm like, the real bad person will speak like you're speaking right now. And then I was like, temporary. I'm like, I've been with my husband for 7 years. How am I temporary? We just had a baby because, oh wait, we're in love with each other and we want to have a family. I have wanted to have a baby for so long. It took us a whole year. Okay? Let me just leave that there. Then, as I'm telling her that about like how we used to be, she's like, really? She's like, that doesn't change now. I'm like, what doesn't change now? That you're mad? I'm like, you switched up on us and on me especially since we moved out of your house. Let me give you a little backstory. We used to live with her. She used to live in her home, and then she had a mother-in-law suite in the back, and that's where we rented. And out of nowhere, she just felt the need that she can just go in there and open the door with her own key because she is the landlord, you know. We rent over here as well in our own home, and we have our own extra key just in case anything crazy is going on or just in case we do a monthly checkup. She would just started opening the door and going in there while I'm literally butt naked showering, or like literally any time of the day. I could be in there working because I'm a work from home. Well, now I'm a work from home mom, but before I used to work from home and in the same job before I had a baby. She would just come in there while I'm working. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm like, what? Until one day I told her, what are you doing? What are you doing? I'm working. Why are you in here when my husband isn't home? Like, and I told her, I'm like, Jaime's not even home yet. Why are you in here? Like, I understand if that's your son, like, they can deal with it on their own. He can tell her whatever he wants. That's his responsibility to tell her not to come in here anymore. But if I am alone inside of the apartment, what are you doing? Give us the respect that we deserve as human beings renting to you. Of course, with moms, it's a little different when your son's still living in your property. They will tend to, want to be there 24/7, and it doesn't work that way, especially when your son's not home. That doesn't make any sense to me. Well, after I told her that, she's like, okay, I won't do that again, I'm sorry, blah blah blah. So she stopped doing it. She really did. I remember my husband was home and she did it, and my husband was like, what are you doing? And he's like, you're never doing that again. That's when she really stopped, because she was going to start again. Every time he was home, she would try to do it, until one day he put a stop to that. So that stopped. Fast forward to us getting married and buying our own home. And we were buying our own home, and we were moving out of her property. And that's when I noticed a big change from her. She was not having it, like, at all. We moved out and she didn't want to support us in the house, and nothing. When we actually bought the house, she was like, yeah, well, when I was in Venezuela at 24, I already had like 2 whole houses. Okay, just be happy with us. We're not trying to flaunt something. This is an accomplishment for us. We're young. Like, we moved into this house, I had just turned 23 years old. No, not even, I was 22. 22? Yeah, I was 22. And my husband was 24. That's why she said the whole 24 years old thing to him. But anyways, we were just like, can't you just be happy for us? She's like, I feel like you overpaid. Since then, since we moved out of her place, she didn't want to have it anymore. She didn't want a relationship with me anymore. She really, in my opinion, I strongly believe that she just felt that I took her son away and that I was just running off with him and she was never going to see him again. But literally, we moved like 2 minutes away from the house that we used to live in. So you have no excuse. Do you understand what I'm saying? So just to give you a backstory, that's when everything happened, that she stopped like having a relationship with me. Then I got pregnant. Oh my, that's when I noticed that she was treating me really poorly. Really poorly. Like, she would come over, we would spend Christmas together, we would spend all these holidays together. And I remember one of the holidays, I believe it was New Year's, she's like, you're not gonna spend it with your mama? And then my husband, we always split New Year's and Christmas. We either, one year we do it with my family or with them, or we like vice versa, right? So that year my family had left to North Carolina and all this stuff. So New Year's, we were literally not gonna do anything, but stay home and just celebrate it in between my brother, because he stayed home, he didn't go on the trip, and I call him my son, he just left to the Air Force, but we celebrated it in between us, just the 4 of us. The baby wasn't here yet. I was super pregnant. I was about to pop. She calls him, what are you doing? How come you're not here with your mother? And he's like, Mom, I spent Christmas with you. Do you not remember? Christmas Eve and day I spent with you? Because Christmas Eve, mind you, let me remind you, we spent it with her. Then she came over here, my family came over here, and we spent it together in family. She didn't like it. She didn't like being here. She didn't like being a part of my family. She never has, to be honest. She never has. It's like, I don't know if she feels like the more real it gets in her brain that like he's no longer living with her or, doing every single thing with her. I think like she doesn't want to let that sink in that he now has his own life. So anyways, holidays, that would happen. We would split it. And then one year my mom's like, hey, we should just spend all the holidays together in family. Like, one year we'll go to your house, one year we'll go to their house, one year we'll go to my house. Like, no way. She wasn't budging.